So, is AI coming for your job as a designer in 2026? Well, for the past 12 months, I've been working at one of the fastest growing AI companies in the world, and what I'm seeing happening behind the scenes to designers is pretty crazy. So in this video, I want to cover why you should just ignore all of the hype and doom around AI, whether your job is actually at risk from AI, and what's really happening behind a fast growth AI startup to designers. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to give you 6 tips to help you future-proof yourself as a designer, and also tell you the one thing that AI can't do well right now, which will really give you the edge. AI tools have become pretty standard right now. As you know, everyone's using ChatGPT or Gemini, not just designers, but everyone's using it in their jobs, in their everyday lives. It is crazy to see how fast things are moving, how fast things are evolving. They're getting more powerful every day. It seems that every day something new drops, a new feature, a new tool that is just changing the game. The flip side to that is the uncertainty of, is this getting too powerful? Is it moving too fast? Is my job at risk? The design community has quite strong opinions on this. It's saying things like AI can't replace human taste or judgment, which are 2 key skills for designers. I also see a lot of AI will only replace designers who aren't using AI, so that if you're not using AI tools, you're basically going to get left behind. I also see a lot of kind of hype posts that are actually doom and gloom in disguise. So things like we're cooked, or this is the end for designers, or I just vibe designed this masterpiece in 2 minutes. Those are the ones that really make you think, is there any point in me even learning new skills as a designer if this is what's possible? But I think the reality is quite different, and you need to be able to separate the hype and the clickbait from what's actually happening. So what actually is happening in reality? So I've worked as a designer for over 20 years now as a freelancer in agencies and in the last year at a tech startup. And there's probably 2 huge shifts that I'm seeing right now. Number 1 is using AI in your daily workflows. Now, you've probably seen other designers saying how, you can use this tool, that tool, this feature to really elevate your kind of design game. What I find though when I see those is I go and try the tool and it doesn't quite work as expected. I get weird results and I end up just going back to what I was always doing. However, there are probably 5 design use cases that I am actually using every day that really do genuinely cut down design time and just make you a better designer overall. Here's how I'm using AI every single day. Number 1, prototyping. So rather than designing multiple UX flows and then prototyping them in Figma, now you can just go into Figma Make and just type a prompt in, explain the flow that you're trying to build or design, and it will just build it for you. And it's actually working code, and that's like super fast. It saves you a lot of time. That is a genuine good use of AI that really cuts down time. Number 2 is user flows and edge cases. So you'll know that if you're doing product design, sometimes it's hard to think of all the different edge cases and all the different ways that the user can actually use the product. I find it's really useful just to take designs, pop them into ChatGPT, and just say, what edge cases have I not considered? And then number 3 is writing UX copy. Now, this is probably one of those popular use cases of AI from the very beginning because it does copy really, really well. Obviously, sometimes it can come out sounding a little bit like AI, but it's a lot better than just lorem ipsum dummy text. So that's an easy, straightforward one of just filling in the copy into your designs. Number 4 is coming up with ideas. Now, I still think the best ideas come from humans, but AI can be really good as kind of an assistant, sparring partner, just chucking out 20 ideas that you might not have even thought of, just to even give you a starting point. Number 5 is image and video generation. I think this is probably the biggest game changer, is creating really custom, unique assets for your design, whether they're videos, animations, or images that they can be perfectly on brand. No one else is using them. Before we had to rely on stock websites, and now I think stock websites are kind of dead. I'm going to do a separate video on which specific tools I use for these daily workflows. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to know when that drops. The next biggest shift that I've seen in AI is for jobs and hiring. I would say the market for designers right now is pretty positive overall. I would say that the jobs are growing rather than shrinking, but I would say that competition has never been this high before. Because of tools like Canva going really mainstream, it means that everyone is basically a designer these days, and there is a bit of a saturation of designers in the market. However, the good news is that means that there is appetite from hiring managers and companies for really quality designers. But I think the biggest thing that you need to know is, how how the process for being hired is changing and how AI is shifting that process. So if you're looking for a career in design, you should probably know that AI is doing about 80% of the heavy lifting when it comes to processing your application and actually putting you through that whole process. I personally use AI to score candidates based on their CV, their cover letter, their experience, before I've even looked at their portfolio, just because there's so many applications for design jobs these days. I also use AI to review interviews, so it strips out the emotion of what happened in the interview just to see exactly what the candidate said and just get a review of that kind of performance without all of the fluff that surrounds it that can cloud your judgment. And then I use AI to review the case study design challenges, just because, again, these design challenges can be quite big and we get quite a lot of them back, and it can give a very objective view straight away. Is it a pass or fail? The one thing AI really struggles to do these days is to review portfolios. That still takes a lot of human input because AI lacks that taste and nuance, and it needs to be able to see the vibe of the person behind the portfolio. And that's something it just can't quite do yet. So that makes it even more important to get your portfolio looking right, because you've probably got 5 seconds to capture the hiring manager's attention if you're looking for a new design role. Now, I've reviewed probably over 2,000 portfolios, and only a handful of people really get this right, of capturing the attention, getting the message across. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in me putting together a video on what are the kind of key signals to put into your portfolio to really capture the hiring manager's attention, as well as how to get their attention before they've even looked at the portfolio, because there's definitely some tips to help you stand out that even get you to the point where your portfolio is being looked at, because I can tell you many just don't get reviewed at all. But those are probably the biggest shifts that I've seen happening behind the scenes and to my daily workflows. Now, what can you do to future-proof yourself as a designer going into 2026 to keep you ahead of the game? Because AI is going to keep getting better. It's going to keep evolving. Make no mistake about it, it is here to stay, and you really need to keep up with it. I think it's going to keep getting better at the hard skills. So layout, wireframes, creating assets, design systems, prototyping, all the things I've mentioned already. If AI is going to keep getting better at the hard skills, you need to make sure you are sharpening up on your soft skills. So here are my top 6 soft skills that you can sharpen up on to future-proof yourself from AI in 2026. Number 1 is communication. So communication is probably the most important skill and something that employers and clients look for to see if they want to work with you or not. So this is just important just in everyday life, but particularly in design. You need to be able to articulate your design decisions clearly and to be able to defend them. And it's just going to help you earn trust and make projects go much smoother if you can communicate well. So that is the number 1 skill to improve upon. Number 2 is collaboration. You need to be able to work with engineers, product managers, business teams. It's just something that AI can't really do right now. It takes real human skills to navigate different relationships, different opinions, handling conflict, and just getting everyone on the same page. So being able to collaborate with different types of people is just crucial. Number 3 is decision making. So when you're working on a project, there'll be times when you don't have all the information, you don't have all the data, and you just need to make a decision to move forward, and you need to be able to defend that decision. AI can't make the decision for you, and if it does, you can't always trust it. But you need to be able to defend it when people say, why are we going with this design over this one? And you need to be able to explain that with reasoning and be able to stand behind it, especially when someone challenges you. So decision making, very important. Number 4 is judgment. Now, this is a bit of a tricky one. It's quite hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. It's a gut feeling you get when you see a design and you feel like it's just off and you can't really explain it, or when you get that kind of wow feeling. And it comes from experience mainly, and really being able to understand your users and the product. AI can sometimes look at things a little bit too objectively, and it just doesn't have that human intuition that makes you you. And then adding value, because essentially that's why we're here, is to add value. And it's really about shifting your mindset from I make things look good to I solve problems that move the business forward. With AI and tools like Canva, like everyone is a designer now, everyone can push pixels around, but your value is knowing which problems to solve and how to measure that success. Really, that's what product design is all about and has always been about. Finally, number 6 is being comfortable when things aren't clear. So working in tech, projects are messy, requirements change, people disagree, users don't want what you thought they wanted, and AI needs prompts to work, and you don't always have data user interviews, so you know how it is. Clients change their mind, they don't know what they want exactly, so you need to be comfortable in the unknown. You can lean on AI here, but you can't depend on it. So you just need to get comfortable in that space with like, okay, we don't have the answers, and that also leans into decision making as well. Just we don't have the answers, let's just make a decision, move forward, and then get feedback. But you can do all the research you want up front, but you'll never know until you start getting that feedback. So just getting comfortable not having the answers and being comfortable in ambiguity. So you probably know by now that AI is not going away. It's getting more and more important in our daily lives. Will it replace designers in 2026? No. But with any big industry shift, you need to adapt and you need to be right on the edge of these new tech trends and tools. Because I'll tell you, it's crazy competitive out there. So if you're going for a new job or trying to land new clients, you need to stand out, which is ironic because as designers, that's all we ever try and do is just stand out and be unique. Look, there's always going to be situations where clients and employers just want the quickest, cheapest solution, and they will replace designers. But that's always happened. Squarespace didn't kill designers. Canva hasn't killed designers. Framer didn't kill designers. These are just tools that have made designing easier for designers. But they're essentially just hammers and nails. They're just our tools. And those tools still need operating by someone skilled. And not everyone who knows how to use a hammer and nail will make the same cabinet, if that makes sense. So focus on your soft skills, get your portfolio on point, and make sure you're staying ahead of AI trends in design. I think the question isn't, will AI take my job? It's, am I doing work that only I can do? Because as designers, we are relied upon for our creativity, our personality, our experience in order to make good decisions, good judgment, good taste. That's more important than just the execution. If you like this video, please give it a like, and I'd love to see your take in the comments below. If you want to see more content about design, AI, life as a digital nomad that I've been doing for 2 years now, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.